welcome to this holiday virtual presentation of the celebration of life and remembrance. We at Wellstar Community Hospice welcome you to celebrate the lives of your loved ones and those who have gone on before us. We want to invite you to use this special holiday virtual celebration of life and remembrance in any day of the week, any time of the day that helps you with the holidays approaching. Celebrate the life of the loved one that you are missing this year. I also want to invite you to call on us at any time. Even though we're separated because of COVID restrictions, know that I'm always here. I'm Barbara. I am the bereavement coordinator and counselor. I'm the one that you've gotten the voicemails from and all of the mail. And we want you to know that we are so honored that you allowed us into your lives during this special time. I hope that this presentation of the virtual celebration of life and remembrance for the holidays is one that will touch your life and help you remember those special, precious memories.
Hello, I'm Michael O'Neill. I'm the medical director for Tranquility Hospice. But I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to our celebration of remembrance and tell you what an honor it was taking care of your loved ones. It means so much to entrust us with the care of someone at that delicate time of their life. I hope you find comfort and solace in some of the words that are coming after mine. As always, let us know if there's anything we can do for you. Thank you.
In your invitation, you received a wooden maple leaf. I would like to invite you to pull it out and name the name of your loved one on the leaf. There might be some funny stories that you remember, and there might be a word that triggers those memories. It might be something like puppy dogs and kitty cats, or it might be a special name you gave that person. Go ahead, and as our team is decorating their maple leaves, go ahead and decorate yours. Do it with us as we become a family together, no longer separated by COVID or grief, but together we remember them.
Sharing our stories are precious memories of those we are grieving with one another, remembering and celebrating the lives of our loved ones. These are a few of our stories. We invite you to also share around your table, in your home, with us in this time, the stories of your loved ones. The first story, an inpatient unit story. There was a young mother who was in our Tranquility inpatient units. Due to COVID restrictions, young children are not allowed by the order of the governor to be inside our facilities. The wish of this young woman was to see and be with her young son once more. The hospice team, led by this patient's RN, provided the needed medical care to take her mother outside of her room porch dressed in all PPS, masks, gloves, shields, etc., where her young son, also dressed in appropriate PPS gown, mask, goggles, gloves, was able to visit with his mom, and the patient was able to again tell her son how special and how much he was loved. Bringing family together, living every precious moment of our life, providing comfort, support, and creative care. The staff and families working together to give this family one more precious memory. Story 2, a hospice hospital GIP story. During the COVID restrictions, a couple, husband and wife of many, many years, both became sick, needing GIP care, were admitted to hospice as in-hospital hospice patients. The hospital had each in separate rooms, as is the policy. Our hospice hospital RN liaison with the hospital staff was able to get special permission for the couple, both actively dying, to be moved to a new room together, where the hospital team provided them comfort care. Both patients died within hours of each other, both being able to be with each other till death do us part. The third and final story, a home team story. A mom married with adult children, several grandchildren, found out that her diagnosis was terminal, that she did not have any choices due to the progression of the disease. This mom had not talked with her family about her pain, her feelings, or anything. The hospice team, with chaplain, social worker, RN, and CNA all worked together to provide a family meeting where the patient, with the support of the hospice team, could take her family, tell them about her diagnosis, her love for them, and her wishes. The family was even able to set up virtual visits outside, looking in the house window visits, making every moment of a life special memory, providing the patient with the peace of knowing she was able to tell her family how much she loved them, spending her time with them in a peaceful, open manner of love.
When great trees fall. When great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder. Lions hunker down in tall grasses, and even elephants lumber after safety. When great trees fall in forest, small things recoil into silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe briefly, our eyes briefly see with our hurtful clarity. Our memories suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words, unsaid, promised walks, never taken. When great souls die and our reality, bound to them, takes leave of us, our souls dependent upon their nurture now shrink, wizened, our minds formed and informed by their radiance, fall away. We are not so much maddened as reduced to unutterable ignorance of dark, cold caves. And when great souls die, after period, peace blooms, slowly and always, irregularly. Spaces fill with a kind of soothing electric vibration. Our senses restored, never to be the same, whisper to us, they existed. They existed. We can be, and be better, for they existed. Well, greetings to all of you who are watching from your screens, on your devices, or from whatever environment you have chosen to be with us. My name is Matthew Alexander, and I'm one of the many chaplains that works for the Wellstar Spiritual Health Department. While these times are full of uncertainty that require us to participate in activities in extraordinary ways, it is certainly wonderful that we do live in a world where technology makes it possible for us still to gather with one another, albeit remotely. Coming together in our grief to acknowledge our human loss as a community is not a new idea. This coming together can be traced back to our religious and cultural roots. In the Jewish tradition from the Hebrew Bible, it says, "It is therefore holy and wholesome thought to pray for the dead." In the Christian tradition, the day after All Hallows Eve, All Saints' Day, and All Souls' Day are celebrated. And in the Mexican culture, the Day of the Dead is celebrated and remembered at this time of the year. It is no coincidence that these times of remembrance of the saints and our ancestors have made the journey into eternity is remembered during this fall season. This time of the year, when we harvest what we have grown, as we prepare for the darker and colder days of winter. The seeds that once brought forth new life in the form of food will now help nourish us until new life is ready to be born again. And while the leaves are beautiful in the colors, they also represent a time of death as they soon loosen themselves from their place on the tree and fall to the ground. Likewise, those that we have loved and cared for came into this world to bring us life and to offer us nourishment as they shared their life with us. The memories of their life, the seeds they planted in us, will nourish us when we have difficult days and will continue to offer us new life. And yes, while they have loosened themselves and fallen from this tree of life here on earth, we should have confidence in knowing that just like all living things, they have been born into new life. My experience with most people, however, is that it's not a lack of belief that their loved one now dwells in a wonderful place beyond our imagination that is the struggle. Instead, learning to live with the grief after loss is always the difficult part. Grief can leave us disoriented, uncontrollably sad, angry, confused, and in a state that can make us feel often out of control. And on some days, these feelings can all occur within a 5-minute period. Grief can certainly make us feel a bit wacky. It can make us uncomfortable and rear its head in inopportune times. Grief can be such a struggle that we long for things to go back the way they were before. For some of you, your grief may still be raw and the wounds still fresh. To you, I hope this time and this service that we've prepared for you and this ritual that we have created brings you hope and courage to continue your journey. Others of you, however, may have a spirit of peace about you. You have peace perhaps because of what your faith tells you about death, or maybe it's because you have taken the time to grieve and find healing. For you, I hope your time here today affirms your sense of peace. Most of us, however, I imagine, are somewhere in between these two realities. We live in between the good days and the bad days. We live between our tears and our laughter. We have good days when we celebrate, when we remember, and we feel the life of our loved one moving within us. We also have, as most of us describe, as bad days, when our aching hearts overwhelm us. We rise each morning dancing to these steps of grief. We live a reality full of mystery because we don't know what the day will bring. We don't know who we will see in the grocery store. We don't know what song will be played on the radio, or if we will catch a whiff of a perfume or cologne that will flood us with memories and emotions. When loss is fresh, this ambiguity of the day can create anxiety, making us unsure if we even want to step out the front door. Of course, these experiences can bring us comfort as we remember. For those of you living in the in-between, I hope today's service brings you some balance. Whether you are hurting, peaceful, or somewhere in between, grief needs our full attention so that it has an opportunity to show us the path of healing. Grief wants to teach us how to live in a new relationship with ourselves and with one another. Listen to these words by grief author Stephen Jenkinson, in which he says, "What if grief is a skill? In the same way that love is a skill, something that must be learned, cultivated, and taught. What if grief is the natural order of things, a way of loving life anyway? Grief and the love of life are twins, natural human skills that can be learned first by being on the receiving end and feeling worthy of them, later by practicing them when you are running short of understanding. Grief can teach us how to become kinder, more compassionate, and more loving human beings by opening our hearts up. A wonderful way of learning to open our hearts up is by participating in services like this one, by creating rituals, by talking about our loss with those closest to us, our family and our friends, and by supporting one another when we are grieving. Reading, especially reading poems, is another way, and a favorite way of mine, to learn what grief needs to be embraced. I read Maya Angelou's poem, "When a Great Tree Falls." Her poem captures the struggles of grief, such as the hunkering down, the shuddering, and the recoil that is felt when someone close to us dies. Her words about grief remind us that whether we like it or not, when someone close to us dies, our reality shifts. The one we once depended on is no longer with us. Just as grief shifts our lives, the poem shifts with its language. Maya Angelou shares with us at the end of her poem transforming words, and I want you to listen to them once more. When great souls die, after a period, peace blooms, slowly and always, irregularly. Spaces fill with a kind of soothing electric vibration. Our senses restored, never to be the same, whisper to us, they existed. They existed. We can be, and be better, for they existed. Yes, loss hurts us deeply, but we can give thanks for the life that existed. Because they existed, we are who we are. And as we draw closer to understanding this gift, we slowly allow peace to bloom in our lives. While it might seem far-fetched right now, as that peace blooms, our senses will return to us. We will hear the laughter of our loved one. We will see them in the face of a child. We will smell their favorite meal cooking in the kitchen and smile. And when we feel the breath of the wind blow upon us, we will feel loved, knowing that our loved one is breathing new life into us. My prayer for all of you is that you will allow this new life to take hold of you. I pray that you will be transformed. I hope you will find ways to open yourself up to the possibilities of grief so that you can feel that soothing electric vibration course through your veins as it restores your senses. I pray that peace, comfort, and love will rest upon your shoulders. I hope you will go forth from here not avoiding your grief or being overwhelmed by it, but open to the gifts that it is offering to you into your life. We are indeed in the season of fall. This is the time of the year when we harvest and prepare our homes as we get ready for the shorter, colder days of winter. If we are prepared, winter can be a time of enjoying the fruits of our labor. We can use the time to rest and hunker down if we need to, knowing that we will have all that we need to make it through. Likewise, when the season of fall comes upon us in the form of grief and loss, we can use this time to harvest our memories through our stories, through our pictures, through our rituals that celebrate the life and love we were given by those who we have lost. We will be able to find warmth even in the otherwise cold season of our life. So don't be afraid of your grief, but instead allow it to guide your life and bring you to deeper places of love and hope. For when you do this, new life will surely be born within you. May you know this hope, and may you know this love as you grieve. At this time, we are going to provide a ritual where we are going to say the name. And what we invite you to do is when you hear the person say the name, we'd like you to remember those that you have lost. At that time, we will also be lighting a candle, and we invite you to do the same from wherever you are at. We will say the name 5 times. So we invite you to do this now.
Name the name.
Diga el nombre. Name the name.
Taja Gina.
Say Namnet.
Name the name.
volunteers at Wellstar Community Hospice would like to express a deep appreciation and gratitude for your loved one's service in the armed forces of the United States of America. We honor them for their bravery, for their courage, for the sacrifice so that we can enjoy the freedom that we have in this world today. As a spouse of a veteran, you know the challenges faced not only by the service member, but also by the family at home. You also were brave, courageous, and made sacrifices as you supported your loved one. We thank you for your devotion to and support of your loved one. For in doing so, you also serve our country. The staff and volunteers are honored that you chose our hospice to care for your family. It is our privilege for you to allow us to come into your lives during this time. So, on behalf of the staff and the volunteers, thank you. Thank you for the honor and the privilege of serving your family, and in the grateful appreciation of your loved ones and your service to our country. Let us now honor those who serve in the United States Army. Let us now honor those who served in the United States Navy. Let us now honor those who served in the United States Marines. Let us now honor those who served in the United States Coast Guard. Let us now honor those who served in the United States Air Force. And let us honor those who served in the National Guard.
Remember them in the rising of the sun and the going down of the same.
We remember them
In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of the winter.
We remember them
In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring.
We remember them
In the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of the summer,
We remember them.
in the rustling of the leaves and the beauty of autumn,
We remember them.
at the beginning of the year and when it ends,
We remember them.
when we are weary and in need of strength,
We remember them.
when we are lost and sick of heart,
We remember them.
when we have joys we yearn to share,
We remember them.
when we have decisions that are difficult to make,
We remember them.
when we have achievements that are based on theirs.
We remember them.
So as long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them.
What I'm Learning About Grief by Nancy Cross Dunn. What I'm learning about grief is that it need not be a heavy gray shawl to wrap myself in, clutching my arms tightly across my chest. Nor need it be a granite rock that I should try to push away from. Neither is it at least no longer a vast dark ocean, ready to pick me up and slam me down without a warning. What I'm learning about grief is that it is not me, but that it offers to become a friend who will lightly lay a hand on my shoulder when tears come in the dark, a friend who will laugh out loud with me at remembered silly moments, a friend who can still hear the music of my life. What I'm learning about grief is that this friend doesn't intend to leave me, but promises to hold my hand, to carry my memories, a friend who will bear witness to my love as I venture toward the next day and the following night.
Thank you so much for allowing us to come into your lives and the lives of your loved ones, for sharing your stories with us and allowing us to walk with you as we prepared for the holidays. If there's any way I can support you or any member of our team can support you, we do invite you to call us. We're here for you. You're never alone. Thank you.